Hello, it's Heidi. How are you tonight? Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me. It takes a few seconds for the chat to come through, but hopefully it works. Are you there? Anybody in the chat? This is weird. Oh, yay. Thank you, Jill. I can see and hear you fine. Thank you. It's a little weird to be talking live and not knowing if your message is getting through. Hello, Carol and Joanna and Jill. How wonderful that you joined me this Friday night. Are you still sleeping off your pie? Crisscross, hello. Mary, hello. Oh, hi, Grace Paisley Stitcher. How wonderful. What fun. So I had 2 naps today because first it was the stuffing leftovers and then it was the pie leftovers. There's my sister Wendy. Hello. How's everyone doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? Kathleen is in Canton, Michigan. Oh, that's fun. Nice to see you. Megan Mahoney. Nan Stanton, good evening. Well, this is just great. Oh, my husband just got home from helping our son-in-law. They're rehabbing a vacation property. And Grace is stitching. Australia. Did you know it's always tomorrow in Australia? Must be so disorienting. 5 o'clock on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. Joanna's stitching. I was stitching too, but I had to put it down to talk to you guys because I can't stitch. Canada. Jerry is in Canada. Nan's in Minnesota. I was born in Minnesota, Nan. Lived there until I was about 4 years old. Lived in Plymouth. Phoenix. Jill is in Phoenix. That's just crazy. It's pretty. Phoenix is mountain time, right? That's 2 hours. Hi, Night Fear. How are you? Awesome. This is so great. There's a thing. Oh, eyes. 27 eyes. That's fun. Getting some sorting floss. Oh, so I started another thing. I don't know if anybody's heard of Airtable. Hello from Plymouth, Minnesota. I was just saying when I was born in Minnesota, born in Minneapolis, but we lived in Plymouth until, we moved to Wisconsin. And now where I used to live is an industrial park. I did not live in an industrial park at the time. Loveland, Colorado. I've been there. So the Airtable. Airtable is a pretty fancy-dancy database kind of a thing. I used to love Microsoft Access, but I don't have access to that anymore. I wanted a way to keep track of my floss, but I don't really because it seems like a job. I used to write databases and keep track of crap when I was working. Oh, Jerry, thank you so much. But here's the thing. I don't want to end up hunting for things. I want to know right where they are. So if I know I have a whole thing of floss and it's in one project, I want to know which project it's in so I can go steal some of it. And so it seems like the only way I can know how much floss I have and where it is if I have a database. Does that seem like I'm going too far? How do you organize? Or do you just buy more every time you start something? Oh, here's my floss for my new long dog. This is Sulky 12. The spool is almost gone. Yes, I broke off the ends already. So I ordered 2 300-yard spools of Sulky 12 weight and not exactly black. No, it's called not quite black. So I started the database and then I quit working on it. I'm really resisting it. How do you organize your floss? Does anybody have questions for me? I have questions for you other than how do you organize your floss? Or don't you organize it? Thirsty. Nerves make me thirsty. So if you don't want to tell me how you organize your floss, got back to stitching today, been a bit under the weather. Well, that's too bad. We had a bit of COVID in the family, but I didn't get anywhere near it. Do I like stitching with sulky? I do. And let me tell you why. I'm stitching on 18 count Aida, and 18 count Aida, like 36 count linen, is on the margin, right? Should it be one strand or should it be two? I don't like a real delicate thing, at least any of the projects I've done so far. I don't like it to be real delicate, but I also don't want it to be so hard, to get the floss in there. So I tried the sulky, and it says it's equivalent to 2 strands of DMC. I think it's a little less, or it just acts like a little less because it's one strand. It just behaves. It just lays down because it's one set or one thread. So it doesn't get twisted over each other or twisted much at all. So I really like doing the sulky 12 on the 18 count. And I got some, I can't reach them. I wanted to show you. Where did I put them? Who knows? I wish I had an assistant. But yes, if you haven't tried sulky 12, get a spool or 6 and play around with it. They have some nice variegated. So let me go back up and see if anybody answered my other question. Oh, okay. Do you like stitching with sulky? Yes. Jill has her floss on bobbins. Paisley has floss on bobbins and thread tops, and she's not really organized. I have figured out how many stitches I can get from a skein, and I put that many on floss drops. Wow. That's some serious cross-stitch math. Did you like testing? Oh, I love testing. Except one of my daughters criticizes me that I always introduce too many variables. Mary is from Jersey, Georgia. Or is she a Jersey gal? Oh, I think she's from New Jersey, and she's a gal. You mentioned a white thread you use that is equal to 1.5 threads of DMC. I did? Sometimes I make stuff up. A white thread. Oh, when I was doing my white thread test? Wow. Jot this down as the day Heidi started to exhibit some symptoms. I'll have to think about that, Kathleen. Jerry has a master set and a lot of extras. She uses bobbins and has no organization. I love fiber on a whim 18 count. I just joined the Fox and Rabbit 18 count Fabric of the Month Club, and I really like it. Mary's from Patterson. Oh, that's cool. Organize their floss by number. Yeah, I do too. My dogs won't stay put. Oh, you mean dogs, not your feet. Some people call their feet dogs. Won't stay put. Cross-stitching at my brother's yesterday was so peaceful with no pets. Yeah, I think pets are harder. I would say pets are harder than children because they don't grow up and go away to college. Old school bobbin boxes by number, floss by color, organized by number. That's great. I have some, so I will try them. Oh, sulky? Boy, managing this chat is hard. White floss. Yes, I've heard that's nice. I notice over time I can get between 40 and 60 stitches. That's so cool. So my floss is on sort of floss drops, but they're actually bobbins with an extra hole. And if I wanted to put them in a box, then I could just wind it around the bobbin. But yeah, this is a belt hanger or a necklace hanger, and I have 100, 200, 300, so on. And then usually I just take some to put in a project. But not always. Sometimes I take more than some, and I take it all. I have some floss organizers, the little rectangle things with holes in them. Those are good. I use restaurant takeout containers to store floss in skeins. That's genius. Yep, white floss is good. You really kind of have to play around with it's what you like to stitch with and what you like the looks of, and the combination of that and your fabric. It's it's kind of fun, but you never get it exactly right. And what you think, what somebody else thinks. So yeah, I did. Did you? I don't know if you saw on Instagram. It's so hard to find anything on Instagram anymore. I had done some tests because people frequently say they don't like the way their white stitches look. Where's the photos? And so I sewed a bunch of stuff of white stitches. That was a picture of what my husband was supposed to buy at the grocery store. I don't know where it is. That's the pie we had yesterday. I can't find it. Maybe I didn't even take a picture of it. There's a couch I recommended. Oh, here. So I'm going to show you this, but I don't know if you can see it very well. No, you can't see it. Oh, sort of. So anyway, I did white stitch on Ada, so it would show up. And I did the Danish method and the English method. And then I did it not railroaded and then railroaded and one railroaded. Kay says the DMC bobbins as floss straps is a great idea. I'm sure I did not think it up, but it works. Yeah, they all look good, didn't they, Carol? I thought they all looked fine. And actually, my favorite was the one where I didn't railroad and I just did Danish method, just ordinary. So white reflects the most. That's why it shows up the most. And if your thread is twisted at all, it'll be the most visible. Black, it all just looks like a black hole, right? The black stitches don't even look like they're made of thread sometimes. Using beeswax, because she does gold wax. I have never used wax. I have some, but I've never tried it. I don't use anything fancy much, and I've not done any. I haven't stitched with gold thread in probably 30 years. I probably had it in a kit to do on a Christmas stocking or something. But gold work. Is that like black work, but with gold? I think it is. I'm a genius, aren't I? Gold work. So here's another question for you. Did I miss any questions? No, I just think that's so cool. She knows her gauge in cross stitch. Wow, wax stained one of my threads. Oh, those dang bees. Reducing impurity. My silk spools are in old chocolate boxes. I think that's a win-win. A safe place for your silks, and you get to eat chocolates. Thread conditioner sometimes. I've never tried it. So who's going to the Jingle Ball? Is everyone going to the Jingle Ball? I've never been, but I went to Midsummer Stitch, and I understand it's like that, only even better. I don't think I'll be able to stay up all night, so maybe I'll see our Australia friend tell me again who's from Australia. No. Somebody said they were from Australia. Tell me again. But yeah, sometimes you meet. Yes to the Jingle Ball. I am. I want to. Well, Shanna, go buy your ticket. Wait till we're done talking here and go get your ticket. It's $10. And if anybody has questions, like I said, I went to Midsummer Stitch, and so I'm sure it operates just the same way. I have watched the videos that Steph of Lindy Stitches put out, and you get anxious about the rooms. Well, here's the thing. You can go in, camera off, mic off. You just be a little black box, but you can watch everybody else and listen to the chat. And if you think, well, this sounds interesting, I have something to say, you can turn on your camera or your microphone, or just your microphone. We had some people talking. I suspected they were eating chips and dip and didn't want us to know. But Goldwork uses many different threads, some of which are metal. They're couched with floss. Oh, couching. I've done that a few times with floss, and the threads are waxed. I've used other conditioners. Fancy. Do you get commissions for doing fancy couture? And there's shopping. Jill says, yes, the Jingle Ball has shopping, which Midsummer Stitch did not. I resolved to put all my cards in the freezer before it begins because, as you know, I have a lot of stuff to stitch. But I can window shop. I can say, oh, I wish I had that. What is Jingle Ball? Okay, don't have it in Australia that I know of. Okay, Anna, here's what it is. Steph of a company called Lindy Stitches. She has an online cross stitch shop. She gets together with 11 other designers of cross stitch, and they put on a virtual retreat. It lasts from Friday night to Sunday midnight. It's open internationally. You go to, let me get you the correct address. I think it's jingleball.net. I'll get a link here. So it's a virtual retreat, and there's recorded entertainment. There's links to shops. There are stitching rooms, which are like Zoom meetings. So you just see a title and you think, okay, I'll go in and see if there's anybody interesting in there. The Jingle Ball cross stitch. But you can meet people, or if you already have friends, you could say, hey, I'll see you at the Jingle Ball. And then you text them and you tell them what room you're in. Still new to Floss too. Well, you've got to join the Jingle Ball and then you won't be new anymore. So let me put the address here. I will link to the event. It's a $10 ticket using your email. And then once you buy a ticket, that email sends you in. Yes, check out Lindy Stitch's YouTube channel. She's done some videos that explain it all. Gives you an overview of the event website once you have a ticket. It's not open yet, but next weekend, Friday night, it starts. And I'm really looking forward to it. I had a great time at Midsummer Stitch. Here's a tip, though. Before you go on, if you plan to have your camera on, pick out where you want to sit and stitch, and then how you're going to access the event, and get some good light. And you want to be able to hear and see people. So you might need a prop, or, a tripod, or, I don't know if you're going to use your phone or your laptop or your tablet to access the event, but kind of do a dry run in the afternoon and get it set up. Maybe do a messenger or FaceTime with one of your friends to see what the video and the audio sounds like. So, you don't want to be scrambling during the event. You want to just be ready to go when it starts. Australia's having a similar event at the end of January, the Australian Shindig, I think it's called. I think I heard of that. I heard somebody talking about it. That's cool. But yeah, this is international, and you can still sign up to watch the video classes, and buy the PDF items for the classes. I'm not doing any classes. I have enough stuff to stitch. But I'm going to watch the entertainment and do the meet and greets and go to the stitching tables. And I met some fun people last year, and I hope to see it again. So if you haven't thought about it, please do. My next question is, do you have a dream about cross stitch? Do you ever dream you're cross stitching or something terrible happened? Sometimes if I work right up until I go to bed, work. Oh yeah, it's $10, Shanna. $10 gets you in for everything except the kits, and the kits are sold out. But you can still buy PDF patterns, and you can still sign up for the classes, which are enable you to watch the videotape classes for 30 days after the event. So they're finishing classes mostly. So yeah, $10 gets you all the social stuff. But yeah, have you ever dreamt about cross stitch? Last night I was trying to make an automotive repair, but I was using cross stitch, and it just, plus I was repair. Oh, I don't have those either. I fixed a pair of blue jeans for one of my grandsons today. Grace says she dreams about cross stitch if she's loving a project. Jill says no dreams about cross stitch. I tend to dream about whatever is going on in my life. If I'm learning something new, anytime at work I had to learn something new, then I just did it all night long in my dreams. Which, is kind of tiresome when you're not supposed to be at work, but I'm not at work at all anymore. What is everyone working on? What's the last thing you stitched? I, of course, have my new boyfriend. My new long dog, Saga. This is how far I am. I've almost got a page done. The head of the line sticks onto the page too. But as soon as I get this corner right here done. Right there, that's the end of page 1. But I've been working on a lot of other things too. Dangling. Sometimes I don't want to go to bed because I'm on a roll with what I'm stitching, or I get too early because I'm thinking, yeah, I don't dream about it. The pouty owl. Oh, I have to look that one up. What is the pouty owl? Oh, that didn't work. I have 2 screens running here and about 42 windows. Forest Fairy, the fox from, oh, you will finish it. You will finish it. That is awesome. So you win the big prize. Stony Creek. Oh, the pouty owl. He's very cute. Oh, that's cute. I haven't done anything Christmassy. I put a few more stitches into that Christmas sale that I got from somebody. So Night Fear is almost done with Forest Fairy. So do you know I came this close to buying the 2025 Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Along? Why would I do that? I've never done full coverage other than, my goofy little project from the Antique Pattern Library. It's your fault, Heidi. I bought a long dog. I'm drooling over something like what you're doing. I think I'm just destined to do big projects, not hard projects, but big. It is a good start. Yeah, Paige. I wrote down somewhere what day I started it, but you would know. Hello, Pamela. Working on Blue Manor by Abby Rose. Working on Stony Creek. Not heard of Stony Creek, but I came so close. You should do it. I was going to do Drinks on the Beach. That's the only one that really appealed to me. And then I thought, well, Heidi, if you get so many pages done, then you win them all. And I'm like, but I don't want to win them all because hardly any of them are things I would do. But some little competitive thing in me wanted me to. But no, if I do that, then I'll work on that. And then I won't do my long dog. And then do you see? How do you? It's out of control. We could stitch together. Yes, we could. But I can't be both a long dog stitcher and a Heaven and Earth Design stitcher. I don't think that's possible. That seems like I would have delusions of grandeur. I was looking up Stony Creek. And I can't type because my microphone is in the way. You did buy the HAED sale, the bunny one. You only have to stitch 238 stitches a day to finish it? That can't be true. Really? To finish Drinks on the Beach, it's only 238 stitches a day? So that's 2010 blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20. Is that 2010 blocks? Jerry's doing the steampunk portal. You people. I have until December 13th. That's a lot of 10 blocks, isn't it? Oh. Steampunk portal. I saw that one too. I don't know. Oh. Okay, I was going to look at Stony Creek. Oh, that's a whole collection. That's not a pattern. I must have missed something. You should do it. No. Carol, have you ever done that before? You got suckered into the needle minder too. Okay, Pamela's not doing the sale. Too much pressure. It's only 3 10 blocks. Oh, right. Not that I can do math. It's 100 stitches in a block. That's only 3? Oh, I could do that on my coffee break. I'm not good at cross stitch math. Okay, Lori Hill, working on Wine Shop. How much other stitching do you get done, or are you just devoted to that? You just check to make sure, 238 a day. The Fisher King. Ooh, what does that one look like? I would like to do fish and chips someday, I think. I cannot type. There was a day when I could type 90 words a minute. The Fisher King. Undeniably enigmatic figure. Oh, that knight. Look at that knight on a horse. That's nice. That's a good mix of both geometric and motifs. That's what I like about Saga. There's a lot of geometric in there, but a lot of motifs. My Ragnarok was all motifs. There was very little geometric, except the waves were kind of not really. Carol says never. Never what? Never. Lavender and lace. Ah. Started death by cross stitch. You're doing it on black. Y'all gotta go check out Night Fear. I know you got a YouTube channel, and there must be some big stuff. You can only do it on certain days. Yeah. Wow, black. I'm stitching, where is Rocinante? Hold on. Oh, here it is. So this weird present I'm doing for Kurt is on a gray fabric, Echo. But look. Well, I don't know what that is. So this is I'm starting on the blanket. The ladies bought us covered with the blanket, and I've got ROCI done. So this is from the TV series The Expanse. But this is not too bad. But I stitch on a desk, this one right here. But I put something white down on the desk so that it reflects up. Isn't it cool? It's Echo from Fiber and a Whim. I wanted it to look like the outside of a spaceship. And I think it does. So I've never tried black, but I think I would have to put it on my husband's late table or something. He's got a slide sorter. You whipped down from 12 to 10 projects. I'm working on Home of a Needleworker. Oh, I saw that one. Peace on Earth. Lori's a monogamous stitcher. You wanted a black unicorn. Pamela's enjoying Saga at the moment. Your birthday start. When was your birthday, Pamela? How long have you been working on it? So some people are all in on the Heaven and Earth design cell, and others are like, and I'm, no. I think I just want to do it because I've never done it. I'm not tempted at all yet by the fancy ladies. I guess I'm not into fairies or fanciness or mini lavender and lace angels on black. Put a white cloth underneath. Yep. Yeah, I put white paper down on my desk, and that helps a lot. So I've not yet been tempted by a fancy lady. Anybody else do fancy ladies? Dragons of the Sabbath on black. It's tough. Yeah, try that tip with the white thing underneath. What's another category? How about reproduction samplers? Anybody here like reproduction samplers? I started on July 29th, but my birthday is the 30th. You started before your birthday? Yeah, maybe it was a birthday week thing. You're at 1.88%. I'm so glad I have a very few things in Pattern Keeper, and then I keep forgetting that I have them in, not Pattern Keeper. What's the Apple one? Marka Parksby. I have some things in there, and I don't like being monitored by the man and knowing what my percentage is and what my rate of data entry is. And Jill doesn't care for reproduction samplers, too many letters. Interesting, because I'm finding out. Can I show you something else? Just chat amongst yourself. I really should have been more prepared. Hold on, I know it's here. Wish I had an assistant. Okay, so letters. Nightford doesn't like letters either. Well, okay, so I'm retired. And I enjoyed working most of the jobs I had. I especially liked the last couple jobs I had. And I enjoyed working, but man, retirement is great. I had more money when I was working, but no time to spend it. But anyway, letters. I didn't think I liked letters. But then I found this pattern I bought a bunch of digital issues of The Gift of Stitching magazine. And so I started this little red sampler, and then I thought, oh, I don't want to do those anymore. I want to do the pretty ones. So I started that row. And then I thought, well, I really like some fancier ones. So I started this row. And then I thought, no, I really want the really fancy one. So I started that row. This is a Reflet de Soie red letter sampler, French. What's her name, Broda? I don't know. Look it up. So anyway, I've discovered I do like letters. But I'm doing a quasi-reproduction sampler for a stitch along, and we'll see how that goes. My next video, I'm going to show all the fancy ladies I have started. Well, that looks fun. I have a few reproduction samplers on the go. Wow, Queen of the May. Oh, that's beautiful. Mary Jane Fry, Sarah Winder, just finished Martha Martin. I have a list of things I might do someday when I run out of things. I've never stitched a sampler, says Kelly. Cool steampunks lately. Yeah. One of my husband's video games has a whole bunch of dungeons that look very steampunky. And that always makes me think of those. I love reproduction samplers. Many of them call to me. I've done a couple. Isn't it interesting? Nightfield, what's your channel? If she doesn't mind, I will put it down here. Oh, no. There we go. I just started recording videos. Floss tube. Okay. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, go over and give her some subs. She's only at 816. Come on, folks. Let's see if we can get some subs. Does anybody else have a YouTube channel that they want to have us all join? Because we can do that. The freebie. Tell me about the freebie. Jane Fry? Who's Mary Jane Fry? Who's that a freebie from? Mary Jane Fry. Who's the freebie from? Kathy has been stitching for 50 years. Sounds like me. Well, no, I'm just old. I didn't stitch all that time. What was I doing in between? I read a lot of books. Lots of samplers, lots of other stuff. In a week or two, I'll be starting what? I Heaven and Earth Design, a fancy lady, or a YouTube channel. Mary Jane Fry, but I'm going to use my name. So is she getting some subs? Let's look. Let's see. A couple more. Okay, so Mary Jane Fry sampler. On Fiber Talk? I'll be darned. Okay. That's lovely, but here's my problem. Oh, you're going to start your YouTube channel. Jill is going to start her YouTube channel. Mary Jane Fry from the Solitary Stitcher. Yeah, I just found it on We Talk Fiber. Here, 1861, is that the one? Here's something I discovered that, not that I dislike, but that doesn't appeal to me, is symmetrical pieces, where you have to stitch some stuff twice. See what I'm saying? So that has a basket with a tree, a fruit tree of some kind, or red flowers. It has 2 cats, 2 birds, 2 bouquets. Yeah. Thank you, Joanna. So I like an asymmetrical sampler. I'm not sure if it's the visual asymmetry that appeals to me, or if it's the I don't want to get bored stitching everything twice that gets to me. How do you feel about symmetry? I'm fine with asymmetry. Well, I'm going to download that anyway, because you just never know. There, did that. Mary Jane Fry. I don't like symmetrical either, but there are a lot of alphabets. That's true. And you change the animals. Are those cats or rats? I honestly not sure which those are. You don't like stitching houses. I don't know. I like the idea of houses, and then once you get halfway into them, you think they're rats. Yeah, I think they are rats too. Houses. You're going to put dogs in. Stitching in tie. There's B stitching in T with B loves houses. Boy, people seem to fall on one side or the other of a divide. Is anyone here just neutral about houses? So if you had to pick, okay, I'm going to make a list, and I want you to pick one of these things that you would admit to having a fondness for. So we'll start with that one, and then we'll add this one, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do this, and I need one more. Pamela, she just likes stitching. She doesn't care what it is. That's a way to be happy. I feel like stitching some houses. She's discerning. Oh, people are messaging me, and I'm going to ignore it. Joanna doesn't like stitching people. Interesting. Like prim people, because they're almost all like Quakery prim people. They're with the Tree of Life or the Garden of Eden, any sampler that's got Adam and Eve in it, some of those people are pretty peculiar looking people. Anyway, sorry. Okay, that's a separate category, I think. Okay, so put in a yes if you stitch a lot of houses. You love stitching houses. Tell me all the people that like houses. Houses, come on, all the houses people, line up. And Alex, I'm in France. Heidi, you got me interested in long down. So you got the jaws of hell. Well, geez, way to jump off the pier. I don't know if you said it already. Which color Floss you stitching yours? Okay, let me hear more about the houses. Houses, who loves houses? So, Alex, my Ragnarok, I stitched in DMC 3750. It's a very dark tealy blue. Not really tealy. That was the Ragnarok. My new one, Saga. I am stitching in sulky 12 weight called Almost Black. So like, not love. We've got some lukewarm house feelings. I don't mind a house, but not a big one. We've got qualifiers. Okay. We've got a little bit of house love and some acceptance of houses, birds, but not ravens. All the other birds. Who likes birds? Right? Like a robin and a cardinal and a natural looking bird or a prim looking bird, or you're welcome. Who likes birds? So have you watched Kim, the Contented Needleworker Kim? That's the kind of birds I'm talking about. She's a bird fanatic. And now I think, why can't I remember her name? On Thread Gremlins has gone bird crazy. Who's the one on Thread Gremlins? There's Elizabeth and Amy and what's her name? Oh, yes, birds. I'm a bird enthusiast. Stitching several people with birds. I like birds. Can I show you something? If I had time to stitch anything else, there's a channel called I Stitch Birds. I gotta look that up. Okay, so remember I told you I found a bunch of, I want to stitch strawberry. I started Strawberry Thief and abandoned it, but maybe I'll go back. I told you I found a bunch of old cross stitch books, charts. So here's one I saw. Now, we talked about letters. I'm the passive aggressive raven from, yes, that's really awesome. We talked about letters. I like letters, but I like alphabets. I'm not particularly fond of verses, mottos, sayings. Okay, I got to write this down. Hold on. I Stitch Birds. Everybody got to go check out I Stitch Birds. Did everybody go subscribe to Night Fear's channel? I'll put it in again. I want to make sure everybody went and subbed her. We got to get her over 1,000. Okay, anybody else have a YouTube channel they want us to link? Okay, so I like these birds, but I don't like the motto. But there's a cardinal and I don't know what they all are. Oh, that's a hummingbird and I don't know. I just think they're cute. Swallowy kind of, that must be a swallow, right? But I thought maybe in the middle instead, I found this. And I could do one of these. Whoop. I could do one of these in the middle. And then I would just have a whole bunch of, yes, we know you have a YouTube channel. So B has a YouTube channel, Stitching NT with B. Of course, you've heard of her. Wrong spot. You can try and link it, B. I'm not sure if you can link it or I have to. That is Barb, right? That's your real name, Barb? Here we go. Let's get that over there. There's Barb's channel. I love the William Morris. I have the William Morris book, but only has a strawberry thief and a small pillow, and it's different. So, Joanna, which William Morris book do you have? Beth Russell's? Great. We got some more subs for everybody. There is a book. Hold on. Yeah, it's the William Morris Needlepoint. The William Morris Needlepoint it's a pillow, but it's a repeating pattern. So you could make it bigger. You could just keep repeating it. Put Hope is the thing with feathers in the middle. Oh, Wendy, that's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, someday when I have time, I would like to try some birds because I've never done that. Okay. Now, who likes ravens? Blackbirds? Grackles? My dad I would say, oh, there's a blackbird. My dad would say, that's not a blackbird, that's a grackle. And I'd be like, oh, I'm a big chicken when it comes to changing patterns. You like a raven. You like a raven. Raven, blackbird, grackle. I know they're all different species, but a black ominous bird. They're all the same. A lot of people like those. The one I want to stitch is from the Art of William Morris in cross stitch. Oh, let me show you the Strawberry Thief I have. Okay, this book, William Morris Needlepoint by Beth Russell, has Raven or Crow. I love to stitch. Has the Strawberry Thief in it, but it's a needlepoint chart, but you can do it as a cross stitch. And I started it. It's got the lion. Oh, it's got, okay. Oh, I can't show you that because it's a chart. Look at this one. Look at that. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait. No. There. How's that for a raven? That's William Morris. Oh, I was looking for the Strawberry Thief. Sorry. There's the Peacock. Maybe this isn't the right book. Well, apparently it isn't. La-di-da. Oh, this is a totally different book. That it's something else I was going to stitch. It's the one from the Met. It's the one from the Met. Metropolitan Museum of Art. Beth Russell stitches from the Met. Just Google it. You'll find it. Okay, lots of people like those birds. Who likes letters? By, yes, to Baltimore Ravens. Boy. Sorry, I'm still not over the football game yesterday. That was a nail biter. I'm a Lions fan, and wowza. So letters, alphabets. Who likes alphabets? Anybody like alphabets? Jerry does. Delnora does. Do you do them first? Do you save them for the end? I admit I have. I've got a cell I'm going to start in January that has a saying on it, but it's not an alphabet sampler. Jamie likes quotes, so mottos, sayings, poetry, quotes, but not alphabets like sampler alphabets. I finished October 31st from Cottage Garden sampling. Has a blackbird and a pumpkin. Aww. And doesn't have an alphabet. I'm from Detroit, Kathy. You're a Michigander? Yes, Kathy, I'm a Michigander. I live over here between Muskegon and Grand Haven. I didn't think I would like letters, but I really enjoyed His Name is Jesus. Not sure about it, just an alphabet. Some people like sayings and not alphabets. How often do you change the saying? Before I go on to that question, my last one was borders. Who loves a good border? I think it was Heidi of Whips and Kits who says, I love a border, even a gratuitous border. That was the best saying about borders I had ever heard. Then a couple of weeks later, she said she didn't want to do a border. Dawn says, sorry I'm late. I almost finished Raven by Sue Coleman with a lovely touch of Indigenous art. Love pretty flowery borders. Yes to borders. Are they like soothing? Do you like complicated ones? Barb doesn't like borders. It depends. I don't mind a border. I haven't done one yet, but I think I'd enjoy them. Middle of the road, easy to get messed up. That's the thing, right? You're doing a border, and if it's a complicated organic border with flowers and vines and leaves and a fruit thrown in, when you go to meet up, and if it doesn't, it's organic. You can finesse it, right? But a geometric border that just has to meet like two parts of a freeway overpass bridge under construction, that terrifies me. I know the whole thing where you can go so far and do an X to make a 10 and and it just terrifies me. Plain straight lines bore me. Oh, my the edges of my Ragnarok had 2 rows of thing all the way around. And I would do like 100 of them and then I would quit. They complement the piece. They do. They really I fudge a lot of things and no one will be the wiser. Isn't that true? Don't point things out. Here's a life tip. If you notice that someone has made a mistake and they cannot fix it, don't point it out. So if you have a friend at work and they just ran off 18,000 copies of a handout and there's an S where it shouldn't be, don't tell them. If it's, the meeting is in an hour, just don't tell them. Now, if it's digital and it's on the website and they can easily just go in and fix it, yeah, hey, I just want to let you know I spotted this little typo if you want to fix it. But if somebody can't fix it, don't tell them. I agree, borders complement a piece for sure. I prefer geometric if I had to do one. I don't like flowers. That's so interesting. Only real flowers. Love watching Laura from Stitching by the Shore fixing her border. I was just watching Laura from Stitching by the Shore today. Did she fix a border? I fudge a lot of things. I agree. Do not point it out. If they can't fix it, it's not helpful to tell somebody something's wrong. Okay, borders. Y'all are all over the map. I thought of another question, and now I don't remember what it was. I said I had to ask one more thing, and then I would. I have the attention span of a gnat. Okay, somebody asked me a question. How's that? I'm ready. Yes to borders. New comments. Okay. I'm doing a piece right now that I'm having to fudge a lot. It's a gift. Even better, what you're doing is personalizing it. When girls and women would stitch their own samplers, they purposely put a mistake in because only God is perfect. I always think about that. Yeah, that is lovely. The pursuit of perfection is not only unhealthy, it's not possible. Chris Cross, how did you get hooked on cross stitch? I don't even know. I was just happily running my eBay business. And then one day I started doing needlepoint. And because I watched a lot of YouTube for my reselling business, I started looking on YouTube for needlepoint, and there's not much. There's a lot of needlepoint on Instagram, but nobody's talking about needlepoint on YouTube. Well, a little, but not much. And then YouTube kept saying, hey, you want like needlepoint, why don't you watch this? So finally I said, fine, what is this floss tube stuff? So I watched a floss tube, and I was like, wow. First of all, these designs are very different from what was available when I did cross stitch, 30 years ago. And, they're not all ducks with bows and teddy bears and, back stitching and all of that. There's the reproductions, and some people were really into those, and I was just fascinated by people who would put so many hours into a reproduction. And then some people were doing, all the great new designers with the primitives and then there's the kitschy stuff, and then there's still cute stuff, and there's fantasy, and there's ironic and sarcastic, and wow. Yeah, the ducks and geese, weren't they something? And there was just so much. And then I came across a lot of great personalities, and I'm watching all this stuff, and suddenly next time I'm at the thrift store looking for things for my reselling business, I thought, well, I'm always looking in the craft section, but I always resold everything. I resold a lot of gold, Dimensions gold collection stuff because they get a lot of money on eBay, as you know. But anyway, one day I bought one, and I thought I'm just going to keep it and try it. And I thought, well, this is crap. So then I saw the free patterns, and so I started stitching a free pattern, and then I looked in my needlepoint books, and I started stitching those, and the next thing you know, I'm doing a long dog. That's how I got hooked on cross stitch. What did you do before retirement? Kathy wants to know. My last job before I retired I was the deputy city manager of a city in West Michigan of about 70-some thousand people. I did things like economic development and supervised IT and assessing and treasurer and industrial development and things like that. And before that, I was city clerk for that city for a long time, and I was city clerk for another city before that. So as city clerk, I attended all the council meetings, and I did all their legislation and record keeping and ran elections and minutes. And city clerk is great because people in this community usually, if they don't know who to ask at City Hall, they call the clerk's office. So we had to learn a little bit about everything. So I've had a lot of jobs, most of them, though, in local government or state government or federal government. I really like being a civil servant. It just really connected with me. My husband and I we're in a variety of small businesses, and he worked in retail for years. So I understand the whole profit motive, but having a mission of serving people and making their lives better is a really great way to go to work. So that's what I did before I retired. All my personalized. What is needlepoint? Nan wants to know. Wow. Needlepoint. So cross stitch and embroidery and crewel are all what's called surface embroidery, where you're putting fibers of various types onto fabric. Needlepoint, actually, you use canvas, which is almost just all holes. See, it's just holes. There's really not even any fabric there. And you're putting wool, usually, on it in half stitches, like a half cross. Needlepoint, we call the stitches other things. And filling in all the canvas to make, it almost feels like a tapestry. But a tapestry is woven. Now in England, they call needlepoint tapestry, but it's not. You use a tapestry needle, but true tapestry is woven. So I have a bunch of finished needlepoint pillows, but see, basically you make half crosses and fill it in. This is stamped. So you follow you can't actually follow the colors. You have to go to the key. But that's needlepoint. I love it. It's very relaxing. The sound of wool going through the canvas is very, very soothing. So let's go back. I got to catch up. I yappered for a long time there. Now I got to figure out, how'd you get hooked? What'd you do before retirement? Laura fudged the border on spring or summer. Okay, I'll have to look at that a couple videos ago. Has anyone done a chatelaine? No. Evening in the Park. I just watched Teresa Little Stitcher's progress on Evening in the Park. That is incredible. But for repeats, that does not appeal to me. It's so wild. There's not a lot of needlepoint on YouTube because of all the stitchy stores near needlepoint focused. I know. I don't know. I think needlepoint progress is slow enough that it would be challenging. There's a lot of tutorials about needlepoint, but not any social sharing like FlossTube does that I have found. I think maybe it's because the progress is so slow. You might make a video once every 2 months. Have you watched Parks and Rec? It's local government. Actually like the show. I watched a few episodes of it. I think it was on a night when I was very rarely home because of work, but no, it's not. Any more than Office Space is just like actual real work. I'm sorry, or I love that movie, Office Space. But what did I do to my hand? I was stripping paint off of cabinet hardware today. Probably hurt myself. But no, local government is just so ordinary, but it's filled with wonderful people, most of whom really like their work, and that's why they do it there. I mean, things like the engineers and the people who run the water plant and the building inspectors, they could all make a lot more money in the private sector, but they like their work. No, chatelaine. Yeah, to me, they look too repetitive. I started Patty Point. Whoa. So Patty Point is like to needlepoint as 1/1 on 36 count is to cross stitch. I did hand painted canvases are so expensive, says Kathy. Yes. That's why I got some books. There are a lot of great books. And I got some blank canvas and I just copied the patterns out of books instead of hand painting. You can just go directly to the canvas. They don't have to be painted. A lot of people pay huge sums to have their stuff finished too, which that's just crazy to me. So, but I've slowed down on the needlepoint because, I'm afraid to even count how many projects I have now. Okay, here's a question. Put yes if you know how many works in progress you have, and put no if you have no idea. Come on. How many of you know exactly how many you have? You don't have to tell us. I just want to know. Oh, I've never heard of Patty Point. No. Yes, 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 yes. No. 133. I wonder how I would feel if I had 133. Nan has 2. No. Yes. I have 4. So my problem is, where's my stitchy box? I went from having none to like 6 or 8 because I was like, okay, I want to try that. Do I like that? Maybe I do. I want to try that. Do I like that? I'm just trying to find out what I like. And it's clear now I like big because my Fruits of Plenty is big. My long dog was big and my new long dog is big. So a lot of people don't know. And those of you that know don't have very many. So once you get a lot, do you just like la la la? So why do you know how many you have? Do you have records, Night Fear? Do you have like a list? 1, 2, 3. This is how many I have. I've started that a bunch. Go big or go home. Hello, Shar. You're at work. We'll be really quiet. How old is your oldest whip? Mine? August? No, I started a couple before the long dog. So May. I have a planner. I don't have a planner. She has a planner. Night Fear has a planner and she keeps adding to it, to her list. I'm a completionist. That's hilarious. Problem is I have 5 different fiber crafts and whips in each. Yeah. That's a problem. Hello, Ottawa. Death by Cross Stitch is my oldest. And how old is old? I think if something got too old, I would just... So what year did Death by Cross Stitch come out? That came out after pandemic, right? I only stitch medium or small because I get bored. So I might ditch a large one. See, I started the letter H made out of a cow, which is like this big. And I couldn't even finish that. Smalls really don't. I think they're cute, but I don't know. I don't know. I want big. Kathy P has a list, but never counted. Just bought a tall, skinny dresser with 4 drawers, and they are all full. I like big projects. Death by Cross Stitch is my destiny. It's really great. I looked at Death by Cross Stitch. I looked at Pandemic. I looked at a couple others that people recommended, but I really wanted something that meant something. 8 years old. No. It came out before Pandemic. Okay. So because my husband just, really identified with Ragnarok and really liked it, and he's very proud of it. I wanted this next big one to mean something too. So doing it for the 5 generations of my family. I have one from a magazine. Someday. So yeah, never get it all done. That's kind of why I don't want, my bin is full, so I need to stop. And I think I want to finish things, but I've got 3 starts planned for December and January. Night for Stitching Fruits of Plenty, Soul Coast to finishing it. Let it rip. So I probably worked 75% of the time on my Ragnarok. And I have all the time to stitch. I have to feed my husband and I have to do laundry once in a while, but I don't have to work. I have 2 whips from 1990. I just need to find the charts for them. Well, that's hilarious. Google Lens. Do you think you have the charts, Char J57, or the charts are long gone and you need to buy them from somebody? That's old, because even when I find old charts, they're from like the 90s. My oldest whip is from 1923. No, 2023. But I didn't start cross-stitching until November. So I'm sorry, if your oldest whip is only a year old, That's nothing. You can always buy another bin. Oh, why didn't I think of that? I downloaded Xstitch and helps organize all my whips. Typos are killing me tonight. Are you making typos? They're in the charts are in the house somewhere. So I don't know what age you are, Shar, but there comes a time when you realize you have 60% too much stuff and you need to downsize it. You don't need to downsize your house. Just get rid of all your crap and your house just goes, oh, that feels good. We did that. My two daughters high-fived each other at the end of the 3-day garage sale because we don't have to do that now when they're dead. Get rid of all your stuff. My next big stitch will be Mini Mansions, a memorial piece for my mom. Oh, you just recently lost your mom. I still miss my mom, and she died 30 years ago next year. Many mansions. I have to have a look at that. I have a feeling it relates to the Bible verse. Let's have a look. In my father's house, there are many mansions. Oh, so it's got a house. It's got a motto. It's got an alphabet. It's got a border, both floral and geometric. It's got a brick wall and 2 peacocks. That sampler has it all. I think you're really going to enjoy that, Kathy. That is so pretty. That's so pretty. Stable stitchers, sash accumulated beyond life expectancy. I know it. Jamie's doing long dog. So what color thread and fabric and floss are you using for your long dog? There's something extra special about moms. I know yesterday we were talking about the movie Babe, mainly because we were talking about my husband being a sheepdog with no sheep since he retired. But my favorite line in the movie Babe is, "I miss my mom." That was a really good movie. Nightfoot turned 50 and she likes all her stuff. You lost all your stuff in a move 20 years ago. Oh, well, if you already did the big downsize, you can go ahead and keep it all then. I want to do Dreaming of Violets. I finished all my whips before I moved in 2000. Then I discovered Floss Tube in 2010 and said, you started all over again, didn't you? That's hilarious. So what is this Dreaming of Violets? Rosewood Manor. Oh, that is cool. That is very cool. Oh, I like that. Okay. I'll bookmark that one. You know what one has been attracting me lately? Freak for the Beak. Is that what it's called? So Amity on Hathaway Stitchers has an Etsy shop called Boomerang Stitches. And she's got a bunch of really great, cute ones, but Freak for the Beak, you need to look that up. The colors and the shapes, it's birds, but it's geometric. So anybody, Hakron Hollow. So Nightfield brings up Hakron Hollow. One of the first things I put in my wish list on 123 Stitch was Shores of Hakron Hollow. I know it's oceany, but living near Lake Michigan, we used to live near Lake Superior. So the Great Lakes are a big deal in our lives, have been for a long time. And they're very ocean-like, they get big storms and big waves, and they have big ships on them, lake boats we call them, but they're freighters. And so all those shoreline motifs and lighthouses and stuff appeal to me. So Shores of Hakron Hollow. Joanna's doing it and she loves it. Mm-hmm. And then I see people doing the map, and I see people, I don't want to do the seasonal ones. I don't want to do Christmas, but the map or the houses or shores. Yeah. Yes. Amity and Aaron on Hathaway Stitchers are great. I was at Midsummer Stitch. They did a stitching room, and they were so funny. Christmas at Hakron. Damn. Oops. Am I going to have to tell YouTube I swore? No, that's a mild one. Eyeballing the hot grunts, but haven't jumped in. How long do they take? Who's finished one? I first got 2 of them started. Of course. I think that if you wanted to know how a particular project works, you should call her and she can tell you how it's going. Today is the 29th, so I'm working on my leap days out. Delnora brings up Let Freedom Ring. Fish and chips, yes. Okay, Let Freedom Ring. I've never stitched Patriotic. I'm not particularly, of course, I love my country. But even as an election official, I didn't own any Americana sweaters. A lot of my fellow clerks would have flag sweaters or flag jewelry, or they'd do the red, white, and blue on election day or on training day. And I'm not somebody who gets the t-shirt or dresses up the thing. So I don't decorate for the 4th. I used to, help my kids if they wanted to be in the kiddie bike parade. I'd help them decorate the bike. And then 5 minutes before it was time to go to the kiddie bike parade, they'd say, I don't want to go. So no, I was not attracted to stitching Patriotic or Americana. And then, election was on my mind a lot this year, both as an election official and FYI, no fraud. I conducted, I don't know how many, 40 or 50 elections in almost 30 years, and there's no fraud. The only election fraud I ever personally observed in hundreds of thousands of votes was a mom who signed her kids' college students' absentee ballot instead of the kids signing it. That's the only fraud I ever encountered. Anyway, back to patriotic stitching. I started to think about the semi-quincentennial, or the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which will be in 2026. I thought, after I finished, Ragnarok, maybe I should stitch a big heritage heirloom, keep it forever, make my kids pass it down kind of a stitch commemorating the 250th anniversary. And so I looked around and, there's a lot of cute patriotic, there's a lot of traditional patriotic, there's a lot of modern patriotic, but dang, if Let Freedom Ring just didn't seem to be perfect. It's Independence Hall, which wasn't called that then, but it's, it's got July 4th and Let Freedom Ring and yada, yada, yada. And hello, GR8B2BK. That's the first live stream you've watched. Fun. I hope it's fun. But Let Freedom Ring looked perfect. Looked big. Looked challenging. Looked like I couldn't do it on Ada because it's got some 1/1 in the letters. But you can, just FYI, you can do half and fractional stitches on Ada. You just need a chenille needle. But I really wanted to do Let Freedom Ring to commemorate July 4th, 1776. And I wanted to start it on January 4th, 2026. And then I would have 18 months to finish. And now I'm Australian, but I think Let Freedom Ring is an amazing piece. It's just such a classic building with people and a carriage and the bell and Potty Mouth Stitcher's doing it. Sheila the Crow River Stitcher is doing it. And somebody told me that Shelley Antique Needleworkers is doing it. So I'm doing it. You can't do salads anymore on Instagram because they took away our hashtags. That way we can't see what we want to see. We can see what Meta wants us to see. But join in. I think it's on my list. I know I've got a whole bunch of other crap going on, but that's a good reason not to do the Heaven and Earth Sal, right? You do fractions on Ada with ballpoint needles. Oh, I hadn't tried a ballpoint, but I've tried a chenille needle and it works good. So a chenille needle is, if you're not familiar, a chenille needle has the point of a sewing needle or an embroidery needle, but the eye of a tapestry needle. So where am I? Chenille. I made this about a year ago. Isn't it the stupidest little needle book? But those are my big tapestry needles for Needlepoint. And there's some more. And those are embroidery needles. And those are sewing needles, betweens and sharps. Where's my chenilles? Those are my beading needles and my curved needles. I can't find my chenille needles. I'll show you one in just a second. Oh, here we go. So this is a kind of a big one, but you'll see it has an eye like a tapestry needle, but it's pointed like a sewing needle. And so that means you can actually split the 8 stitches. I would stab myself so bad. This is my stupid little stitchy box. It's from IKEA, and I think it was $2.99. The top has cord, oops, so that stuff doesn't slide around. And then I put magnets. Some things aren't magnetic, Heidi. I put magnets on the underside so my needles stick to it when I lay them down. Wow. Was that entertaining? I love these. This is, I don't know what that's doing there. Seam ripper. These things, because we love those things. That's my box. So, pattern of the Constitution for 2026. It has words. Working on and off on a Roxy sampler by Jean Farish. My grand would call it a byword. Great Lakes eat freighters. Yes. Yes. The anniversary of Edmund just passed us. We did not get any nor'easters in the Great Lakes area this November, because we can get, usually if you get a crappy storm in the northeast, like New England or a little bit south of there, it churns up in the Atlantic, and then the winds, if it's a big low, it circles all the way back to us, and our wind comes out of the northeast. And then we can get nasty storms, but we didn't get one this November. Working on my leap day, Sal. So you only work on it the 29th? How many years will it take you to finish, Delnora? How many years? I stab myself with the blunt ones. I do occasionally. I have one last question for you. We'll probably wrap up about 9:30. Do you only stitch one way, or do you stitch any way? Oh, I found another needle. So some people stitch in hand, some people stitch in a hoop or a frame, and some people stitch on scroll bars. Catkin and Lily. Oh, that was a great video that Cat put out about thread chicken. Do you stitch in hand? Do you stitch in a hoop? Or do you stitch on scroll bars in a frame? Kelly stitches in hand. I can do all three. My favorite is on a small Q-snap or frame. I lean it on the desk and I stitch two-handed. But I have to be very careful not to get my thread. I do something weird with my thread where it gets twisted around itself right below the eye of the needle. I have stitched in hand in a hoop and on a frame. I think it's good to, here's the main reason it's good to break it up, to prevent injuries. Sometimes, so if you, most of the time you stitch in your favorite cozy chair with your Lowry stand, right? Sometimes you should sit at a table or in a different chair and hold it. Don't do the same thing hour after hour after hour. Change how you do it. It will be good for your technique, but it'll be good for your body. You won't hold your wrists the same. You won't hold your elbows or your shoulders or your neck the same over and over and over. So however you do it, it's what you prefer to get the results you want. It's probably how you were taught. But yeah, stitching two-handed is fast. Most people put their dominant hand underneath because it's got eyes in its fingertips and it can find the hole, and the non-dominant hand has to be able to see the hole. But sometimes I'll even switch that up just to just to keep my brain from getting in a rut. But those of you who try it all or do it all, that's good. Because of your back, you have to stitch in your recliner. And I guess, if you already have, an injury or a disability that prevents you from doing certain positions, you need to find the thing that's best for you. But I really encourage you to switch it up occasionally. Like every third day or something, just because it will prevent repetitive injuries. Just like sitting at a desk the same way is bad for you. I like sewing stitch on 14 count. Yeah, I love. I'll do the sewing method, particularly on fill. I'll just take it out of the Q snap. I've got one project where it's got big wide borders of different colors, and it's just 200 stitches of one color. So I I need to learn to stitch in my recliner, but I might fall asleep. I don't know what. I don't have any. Oh, set an alarm on your phone so you don't fall asleep. Any thoughts on the Lowry stand? I do not have a stand. I bought one. Excuse me. I bought one on the pretty cheaply on eBay and didn't care for the stand that I bought. It was a scroll frame stand, but I couldn't flip it over. But you want something that you can flip over. Kathy says, I'm the bomb. Well, thank you. I have only read good comments about the Lowry stand. Check out the Giddy Stitcher and search her channel for videos on the Lowry stand. She did reviews on it, and also she had to get the extended arm because her couch was really fat. Do you wrap your embroidery hoop in fabric or bias binding to protect the piece of fabric? Nope. I say those stitches better learn to fend for themselves. I've never actually broken a stitch or damaged it using either a Q-snap or a hoop. Just go right over the top. I even did it with crewel. But every tip has a sad story behind it. So it certainly won't hurt your stitching if you protect it with something before you put the hoop or the snap on. I have time for one more question. How do you thread your needle? I kind of think I have names for 3 methods. One is lick and stick, right? And I don't know why you would lick it if you only have 1 strand, but if you have 2 strands, you got to lick it and stick it, right? And it's funny, but that's how I thread sewing needles. I take one piece of thread, the spit seems to make it stiffer, and then I stick it in. When I was doing needlepoint, I learned the pinch, lick and stick. You're all lick and stickers. Cheap wire, the metal, oh, where's my needle thread? So when you say this, Jerry, is that what you mean, Jerry? So when I was doing needlepoint, you pretty much have to use a needle threader to do needlepoint because you're taking 2 strands of wool, which want to unwind the yarn itself, and trying to get them in the tapestry needle. So you pretty much need to use one of these for tapestry wool. Yes, that's it. So this one, this kind of needle threader, sometimes some of them have a plastic handle. This kind of needle threader is good for sewing thread. It's pretty much, you'll wear it out and break it if you try to use it for embroidery floss and a tapestry needle. But this is great for a sewing needle if you just have low eyesight. But these are useless for needlepoint, and I find them useless for embroidery. But when I'm using my Sulky 12, I either use this or what I call pinch and press. Have you ever done this? Pinch and press. So if you don't like lick and stick, we'll see if this works. So you loop the thread over the eye end of your needle and you pinch it. And then you have this little pinchy thread here. You can't see it. And you press the eye down onto that fold. And of course, I don't have my good light on because I've got my... Let me try one more time. This is how I mostly thread because I got in the habit with tapestry and I don't have a light on, so it's not working. You pinch and press. Is anybody... Well, how good a demonstration is this? There we go. You didn't actually see it happen, did you? So Femkitted does pinch and press, Hexagon pinch and press. So we've got the lick and stickers and the pinch and pressers. But I like my tip for new cross stitchers is if you can't get your needle threaded, frustrated, just get a different needle. Because they do wear out. The eyes get roughened and pitted. And if you looked at them under a magnifier, you'd see that the eyes wear out. Also, the eye is stamped. And so one side is convex and one side is concave, just a little. So if it won't thread, roll it and go in from the other direction. So pinch and press, it takes some practice, just like French knots, but it's for me, it's the fastest, particularly with my eyesight the way it is now. How many stitches do I do in a day? I have no idea because I don't keep track, but I don't know. I probably stitch at least 5 or 6 hours a day, sometimes more. So however many stitches I can do in an hour, maybe, I think Night Fear could tell me that. But that's pinch and press. Turn the needle over if you're having trouble. Get a different needle. Oh, can I tell you one last thing? We have 4 minutes. This is 50 size 26 needles. I put the 26 on there. You can't see. I wrote it on there. Why do I have to show you? 50 tapestry needles, size 26 that I got on Amazon for $5 or $6. They're fine. They're great. Can't tell them apart from DMC or the kind that they sell at Hobby Lobby or the Bowman, or I can't tell them apart. So if you've ever wanted to try the cheap 50 gold eye, they have a gold painted eye, try them. You stitch about 200 on a work day, 5 to 100 to 1,000 on a weekend. That's awesome. So if you've ever wanted to try the cheap needles on Amazon, go ahead and try them. They work fine. Oh, also, Needle in a Haystack sells Colonial needles, other brands in a large quantity for cheap. So, Barb, it was great to have you come in. Nan, Pam, so much fun. I had so much fun. I'm just so excited that you all turned out on a Friday night and we had a chat. So I'll leave you with this. If anybody ever wants to appear here with me in a split screen on a future live, so we'd have more people for the audience to ask you questions, email me at stitchingdowntherabbithole@gmail.com or send me a direct message on Instagram and say, yeah, I'd like to do a live with you. It's very easy. All you need is a webcam device, and that would be so much fun if you want to do that. It's 3 a.m. Thank you so much. I had a great time. You're very patient and generous, and happy day after Thanksgiving. And have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.